One of the things that I love about Freedom Fest is that Freedom Fest has always been on the forefront of eliciting new ideas and new ways of doing things. And one of the things that we have this year are these new initiatives. And today we are going to hear about one of those initiatives. This is our Subversion Summit, and our next speaker is going to be telling you about something really amazing. So Titus Gebel is the president of the Free Cities Foundation, and he's also the inventor of the Free Cities concept. So he holds a doctorate in law, and he is also a serial entrepreneur. He also founded Deutsche Rohrstoff AG, and in 2015, he had a revelation, and so he decided to resign from his post so he could dedicate himself completely to this new concept of free cities and a market of living together. So if he is successful, his goal is to help fast-track knowledge and progress for humanity. Some pretty lofty goals, and I'm really excited to hear what our next guest is. So please help me welcome Titus Gebel.
Sinking in your fight. Too many.
Good morning. There is a peaceful, voluntary, and realistic alternative to the status quo: free private cities. But first, let's go back in history. This is the city of Cologne in the early Middle Ages. At that time, the biggest city in the German-speaking world, 40,000 people. And you can see the famous cathedral is still under construction. Now, since the year 1074, there's civil unrest in town against the ruler, a bishop at that time. That's what the people said. He does not know what's going on in the city, nor does he care. He does not represent us or our interests. He's just living off our taxes. Sounds familiar? Not possible. That was 1,000 years ago. Must be a coincidence. So it took the people from Cologne another 200 years to finally get rid of their bishop and become a self-governing city. But then momentum took off. In the next 100 years, about nearly 100 free and imperial self-governing cities came into existence in the Holy Roman Empire, which is today Germany, Italy, Switzerland, part of France. And you might have heard about the Hanseatic League. The Hanseatic League was a Northern European Union of free cities, which did not stop at national borders. In the year 1400, at the heyday of the Hanseatic League, about 200 cities were members of this union, which had substantial political and military power at that time. Well, back to the present. Contrary to popular belief, Western democracies are not the end of history. And I'm going to tell you why. Because there are two systemic failures. The actions of both the rulers and the governed are shaped by wrong incentives. So the rulers have no liability and no economic disadvantage if they make bad or even disastrous decisions. They have no skin in the game. The governed are made believe that they can vote free benefits into their pockets. And this leads to constant changes in the so-called social contract. Subsequently, the direction of these changes is subject to endless political struggle. So what do? We have to define a system that has better incentives, that is leaving us a choice, and that is inherently stable. And if you believe that free markets are the best answer to serve the needs of the people, why don't we just transfer that idea to the market of living together? And this is indeed the solution I propose. It's government as a service, which is the core of free private cities. A free private city is characterized by a private company that serves as a government service provider. We call it the operator. And the operator is providing security for life, liberty, and property for the residents based on a contract. These services encompass external and internal security and independent dispute resolution and some infrastructure. Now, how does this work? You, as a resident or a company, if you're interested, you look at the contract that the operator is offering, and you say, I like it or I like it not. If you don't like it, you stay where you are. But if you like it, you say, okay, that is what I have to pay. There's no taxes, there's fees. I mean, it's a service, and the operator is a service provider. So you pay a predefined annual fee for that. That comes with some predefined legal framework and dispute resolution agencies, and in case you have a dispute with the operator, there's an external arbitration as it is already common in international commercial law. And if the operator ignores the awards or misuses his power, you just go away, new customers will not come, and he will eventually face bankruptcy. The good thing is that he cannot unilaterally change the contract. And that is a big difference to what we have today, because in every system we have, the social contract is constantly changed, usually to our disadvantage, and always by one side. And here's the secret, it's never us. It's always the other side that is changing the social contract. So it's not a real social contract. So what we are offering instead is a real written social contract for the first time in history. And the good thing about that is that the operator is, you can help him liable, right? You said, you're not fulfilling your contract, I'm not going to pay. Or you go to arbitration and have a decision on that. And this strictly bilateral contract has another result, which is making a huge difference, because one of the biggest problems of mankind is that some people want to impose their will on others. And that's why they hijack parliaments, governments, institutions to make this happen. Now, with a strictly bilateral contract, this disappears. The political activism, missionary zeal, struggle for distribution, steering of social groups against each other makes no sense any longer, because the party that is doing that has no benefit. You know, everybody has a bilateral contract with the operator, and therefore it's not possible for other parties to interfere in that relationship. And in turn, that makes you understand and accept that other people are making other choices, because what the operator offers is a narrow scope. And within that scope, a spontaneous order can develop. You can do as you choose. You associate with whom you want. And you cannot change your neighbor's contract. And this is leading to a more peaceful society. And it's also not necessary then to delegate your decision-making power to parliaments, governments, or the majority, because you can make the most decisions on your own. But you're secure because there's the operator. And you can rely on what is in the contract. And that is also solving another age-old problem, the principal-agent problem. That means that your representatives are rather representing their own interests than yours. Humankind has known this since existence. So this is all solved by this contractual model. And insofar, now for the hard part, how can we make it happen? Penetrating the market of living together is not easy. This is the traditional way. Revolution, secession, overthrow. That's not what we want. It comes always with death and violence and all kinds of stuff. So free private cities are a peaceful alternative to that. Because with a free private city, since all lands are given to states, you have to negotiate with the host nation and say, hey, we need internal autonomy. We don't need full sovereignty. Like these free cities in the Middle Ages, we want internal autonomy, and we are willing to pay something for this in exchange, and you have all kinds of benefits because we are attracting investments and jobs that otherwise would not come. And that is already existing. It's called special economic zone, which is a one country, two system model. So far, it's only taxes and some customs, but free private cities are basically the next step in that evolution. And insofar, you can say that this is something states can be convinced to make it happen, and first experiences show they want that constitution is still applicable, criminal law and international agreements they have conducted, but other than that, they are open to negotiation. So I think this is possible. And there's a chance. Why is there demand for free private cities? Because people do not want to pay for things they have not ordered. Because people do not want to be subjugated by rules and regulations they have not consented to. Because people do not need hundreds and thousands of laws to live peacefully together. And people finally need a safe space where they can cooperate peacefully but are otherwise left alone by coercive authorities. Free private cities can deliver those human desires. The existing political systems cannot. And that's why we have a chance. Because eventually, people go where they are treated best. Thank you very much.